Hey YouTube, how's it going? Today I'm going to review Bad Batch Season 1, Episodes 1 and 2. Then I'm going to get into a few questions. Mainly, what's the deal with Omega's name? Why does Nayla C help the Bad Batch escape? Why does Omega mimic Hunter? What's Omega's enhancement? And what is Clone Force 99's mission? I'm Nate, this is my channel. If you like the content in today's video, make sure to hit the like button or leave a comment. Also be advised that there will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen the episode yet, be aware. So episode 1 was released on May the 4th on Disney Plus, and episode 2 was released on Friday the 7th. The series is about Clone Force 99, which is a small group of clones, enhanced clones, that were introduced in Season 7 of Clone Wars. Dave Filoni executive produces again, as he's been the creator of pretty much all of the Star Wars TV shows. Episode 1 is co-written by Dave Filoni and Jennifer Corbett. Jennifer Corbett is known for her work on the CBS crime drama NCIS. She was a producer as well as a staff writer. I think she wrote about 96 different episodes. Episode 2 of The Bad Batch is written by Gershom Sandhu. She was an assistant on Game of Thrones for Benioff and Weiss, and she was also a staff writer who co-wrote Season 8 of that series. So there's a lot to like about The Bad Batch. As far as the plot elements, every second of time is used efficiently and to its fullest extent. All the plot points hit their mark. The main plot points that I really liked that really drive home what the series and the episodes are about. The opening sequence on episode 1, it pits the clones against the Jedi, and there's a really awesome scene that has Caleb Dume on one side and Hunter on the other side, and we'll get to that in a little bit. The climax is just as epic, and the imagery in that climax is really well done. And that climax at the end of episode 1 pits Clone Force 99 against one of their own, and that kind of tells us where the season is going. And then episode 2 is just as strong. The episode is Hunter's episode, but Omega takes a large role in it. Hunter makes the decision on what he's going to do going into the episode, but then Omega has the final decision. She stays with the Bad Batch, and that tells us where the series is going, or the season. In between all of this, all the storytelling is really, really strong. As far as the creative elements, I was talking about that opening sequence and the climax sequence in episode 1. We see in that opening sequence the image of a chasm. It's a literal chasm between the Jedi and the clones. We've got Caleb Dume on one side, his back is turned, and we've got Hunter on the other side, and he's looking across, and there's no way that he can get across. And so that really sets the tone for what the series is about, which is reconciling the relationship between the clones and the Jedi. And then at the end, we have the climax of the episode, which kind of tells us where the season is going. And it's basically a Western. You got a long road, you've got at one end Hunter and Clone Force 99, at the other end is Crosshair and the Empire, and it's raining, it's dark. You can kind of sense that something is not right within Clone Force 99, and that there's going to be antagonism between the two throughout the season. Hopefully just the season, because we want Crosshair back, but we'll see what happens. A couple other creative elements that I really liked were the matching outfits for Lama Se and Omega. If you didn't notice, Omega's outfit mimics Lama Se's outfit, which is the red and the white, kind of the pale white, I guess it is. She's also got the same medallion on her forehead, and she essentially looks a little bit like Lama Se. We've also got Omega mimicking Hunter, particularly in the prison cell scene and the sequence following it. And it really tells us the relationship between the two, where it's going, and also tells a little bit about where she came from. And I'll get to that in a little bit. The other big thing is the facial expressions. The expressions that each of the characters has on many of the scenes when they do close-ups is something that I really haven't seen before in animation. And it's really well done, and it tells us, it evokes a lot of emotion and tells us what each of the characters are feeling, particularly with Omega and Hunter, and there's a lot of it with Crosshair as well. The dialogue's pretty tight. For example, in one of the scenes in episode 2, Hunter is telling Sue that he wants to leave Omega with Cut and Sue. And Sue asks him the question, is that what you really want? And rather than tell her what he wants, he just says, that's what she needs. And that tells us a lot about what he wants, and it tells us a lot about the relationship that he has with Omega, that's developing with Omega. And we get the facial expressions that I was talking about that tell us that he's not really that happy making a decision, but he feels he needs to do it because that's his warrior mentality coming through. With character development, all of the characters in this series are developed within the first episode. Hunter, Echo, Tech, Crosshair, Wrecker, Omega, even Tarkin and Lama Se are all developed very, very well within the first episode, and then that's continued in the second episode. All their roles and where they fall in terms of the bad guys and the good guys, they're all established, well established. Many of the themes that are discussed within the show and that are used, sadness and happiness that comes with the end of one thing, the beginning of a new thing. And this isn't just with the series in terms of Omega leaving home and starting with the Bad Batch, but this is also with the fans. We've obviously ended the Clone Wars. We're starting something new. It's similar to the Clone Wars, but it's not exactly the Clone Wars. We've also got the end of the Jedi Order and the Republic. And we've got the beginning of the Empire and kind of the Jedi Order in hiding. Other themes that are discussed, that are often discussed in many of the other series that Star Wars has done: fatherhood, growing up, initiation, taking on responsibility, being accountable, accepting the mistakes that you make, and adoption. I bring up adoption because that really is a huge thing within the Star Wars universe. Almost all the movies, all the TV shows have some sort of element of a character being taken under the wing of somebody else, a mentor or a father figure, a parent figure. And I think that's in there for a purpose, because that theme is also true in George Lucas's life. He's adopted 3 children. With all this being said, there are 4 main questions that the series proposes. And that is, 1, will Clone Force 99 fix their own inhibitor chips? Will Clone Force 99 get back Crosshair and fix his inhibitor chip? Will Clone Force 99 save their brothers and fix their chips? And then the final one is, will Clone Force 99 reconcile the relationship between the Jedi and the clones? And that's really the crux of the series. The whole series is moving towards reconciling that relationship. And we see that in the beginning, because when Order 66 is executed and everything kind of turns sour, we get that image of Caleb Doom on one side and Hunter on the other side, and the chasm in between. We know that what is coming next is how Clone Force 99 is going to respond to the falling apart of that relationship. And we know that they are going to try and reconcile that relationship. So now to the questions. As far as Omega's name, we know that Omega in the Greek language means end. In the Bible, oftentimes God is referred to as the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. In this series, I think there's something similar. Hunter is an alpha male, and then Omega is literally the end. I think that there is some sort of connection, and I think that as the series moves forward, we're going to see that they continue to move towards reconciling that relationship with the Jedi. And I think the final reconciliation is going to be executed with Omega. She's going to be the end. She's going to be the one that reconciles that relationship. Why does Omega mimic Hunter? I think the reason why Omega mimics Hunter is because of her enhancement. So what is her enhancement? It's pretty clear that Omega has some sort of sensitivity. I've seen a lot of things online where she's force sensitive. They think that she might be a Jedi. Maybe she's something like Grogu. I don't think that's true in any sense. I think everything that we've seen in episodes 1 and 2 say that she has heightened senses just like Hunter does. Hunter has heightened senses in a masculine way. Omega has heightened senses in a feminine way, which is the reason why I think that Omega's enhancement is not that she's a clone of Jango Fett. She's actually a clone of Hunter. She's the female version of Hunter. So why was she created? That's the next question. It's pretty apparent that Nayla Se and Omega have not only a professional relationship, but somewhat of a mother-daughter relationship. And it's my bet that Nayla Se wanted a clone of her own. She's very close to all the clones. She feels sympathetic to them. She counts them as her own. She spent a lot of time creating the different variations of the clones, Clone Force 99. I think that she wanted to have her own clone, and she wanted one that was going to be somewhat like her daughter rather than maybe a son. And so she created Omega out of Hunter because she liked what she created in Hunter. So she created Omega. And we can see all this with the matching outfits, the medallion on Omega's forehead, the way Omega has her hair combed back to reveal her forehead, just like Nayla Se's forehead. The lighter colored hair so that it doesn't really seem that she's got hair because Nayla Se doesn't have any hair. All that stuff tells me that there's a familiarity between the two in terms of how they look, and it has that mother-daughter feel to it. The next question is, or not really it's a question, but we get into episode 2 with the scene, I call it Omega's sad scene, where she's just been nearly eaten by a beast, one of the Nexiu, and she's sitting in the gun mount in the ship, and she starts to cry. She takes her medallion off of her forehead, and she looks at it. I've seen some people say, well, this is her kind of like sensing some things, and this is, revealing that maybe she's got some Jedi powers, or there's something special about the medallion. I don't think any of that's true. I think literally the medallion represents her relationship with Nayla Se, and her taking it off is a recognition that her past life can never be visited ever again. Yes, she can go back to Kamino, but never again will she be able to visit what she used to have with Nayla Se. And so taking that off is that realization that it's over. It's kind of like, everybody graduates from high school. As you're leading up to graduation, you're excited, you're ready to go into a new world, and then you go through graduation and you have that moment where you look around and you say, man, I'm never going to see any of my friends again, any of the people that, I had fun being in class with. And you have that moment where it's kind of sad, but it's also happy at the same time. And I think this is the same thing. She's also just experienced something completely new away from her old world on Kamino. She got off the ship earlier. It was her first experience with dirt, her first experience breathing fresh air, with beautiful wildlife, vegetation. She experienced a lot of new stuff that was really beautiful, and she took that in. What she didn't realize is that there was also danger out there. And I think that what she's grasping with in this scene is the realization that in order to experience true beauty in life, you're also going to have to deal with some immense danger and downsides. And she just experienced that with the Nexiu. So she takes that medallion off, and it's just a realization that her life has changed, and it's changing possibly for the better, but she has to say goodbye to that old life. That's really what it's about. So at the end of the day, I think season 1 is going to be somewhat about Clone Force 99 trying to figure out how to deal with their inhibitor chips and try to get Crosshair back. But overall, the movement of the series is to reconcile the relationship between the clones and the Jedi. And I think Hunter is starting that off. He's the beginning of that mission, and Omega is going to be the end of that mission. She's the one that's going to execute the final leg of reconciling that relationship between the Jedi and the clones. So that's all I have for today. Originally, I wasn't too excited about this series, but after watching the first 2 episodes, I'm really excited to see it go forward, and I can't wait till the next episode comes out. I'm definitely a fan. Thanks for watching my video, and again, if you like the content, make sure to hit the like button or leave a comment or both.